Huddersfield. And it wasn't just... I don't know what to say. I really don't. But it wasn't... It was embarrassing. It really, really was an embarrassing defeat for Manchester United. It was just a shocking performance, and it was two really poor individual mistakes which caused it at the very, very start. Mata, he gave the ball away in midfield. 1-0 to Huddersfield. Aaron Moy, he punished him. Lindelof completely missed the ball, came over the top. 2-0 Huddersfield. Marcus Rashford got 1 goal back, but it ultimately didn't matter because Manchester United didn't have the creative needed to split this Huddersfield defence, which to their credit was very, very disciplined, but very beatable. This Manchester United team may not have had Paul Pogba. This Manchester United team may not have had Marouane Fellaini, who's in form before he got injured, or Eric Bailly, but we still have more than enough to overcome a Huddersfield team which was pumped by Spurs at home this season. But Man United couldn't break them down. Let's read a few of your comments straight away. As always, where are you watching it from? Let me know in the comments below. I'll try and give you a shout out. Let's get straight to the Facebook comments first of all. We've got Tor watching from Norway. Frankie Benson saying we missed both Pogba and Fellaini in midfield. We did. I agree with you, mate, there. But we still had enough. Matic and Herrera, they didn't seem to be working that well as a midfield partnership. Not sure why. Got Mahez Swearing watching from Mauritius. Good morning, mate. As always, Adam Glazebrook watching from Nottingham, and Boston Dolan watching from New Zealand. Dragan Jocic saying we need Pogba back. He is the engine of this team. He is the engine of the team. But as I said, we still have more than enough to beat Huddersfield. Let's go straight to the YouTube comments as well. Brian saying we play failed wingers as fullbacks and strikers as wingers. Our problem is that we need to play players in their right positions or buy the right players. Rashford, he's been used out on the wing majority of his time at Manchester United, other than the start under Louis van Gaal. That's to accommodate Zlatan Ibrahimovic and now to accommodate for Romelu Lukaku. But it was Lukaku's cross and Rashford's header that made the only difference, the only one spark we had. You know, Ashley Young against Huddersfield, his crosses were appallingly bad. Just Manchester United as a whole were appallingly bad. And it was Romelu Lukaku with one moment of real creative genius. That cross was pinpoint. There was only one player in the box he possibly could have found, and it was on the money. Rashford made no mistake with what was a very accomplished finish. But Manchester United, right, if you cannot expect any team to mount a title push unless they're going to beat teams like Huddersfield. You know, these 0-0s away at Anfield, they can be considered a good result, and I still stand by the fact that was a good result for Manchester United, but you can't do that and then follow it up by losing away to Huddersfield. That is the main issue here. And that is why Manchester United, now heading into this game against Tottenham Hotspur on Saturday at Old Trafford, crucial, crucial game for Man United. We're nowhere near a point of crisis because had we beaten Huddersfield, it would have been Manchester United's best ever start to a Premier League season. We're still second. I think we're second, actually. I'm not sure where Spurs have overtaken us now on goal difference, but we're either second or third. Man City are clearly the title favourites. They haven't lost momentum. Manchester United have lost momentum. And how we get that back hopefully starts against Spurs on Saturday. James Van Rooney saying, hello Sam, do you think Mourinho is a great manager for Man United? I absolutely do. But let me know in the comments now what you think. You know, who's more at fault for the weekend? Are we looking at Jose Mourinho for the tactics he's deployed? Or are you looking at the individual players and the attitudes and the performances we saw from Manchester United against Huddersfield? Where does the problem lie? What was the main reason why Manchester United couldn't overcome a Huddersfield team who Spurs brushed aside? We've got Michael watching from Nigeria saying Mourinho should try and change his tactics. He is not getting it again. Brian May saying City will take about 4 off Huddersfield in a few weeks. That is the difference. Yeah, Man City playing Huddersfield, that won't be pretty reading for Huddersfield. But then again, everybody thought that about Manchester United going to Huddersfield. I just can't believe that we've managed to, I don't know. You know, it was a 1-0 win away at Benfica. It wasn't the best performance in the world, but we won. It was a 0-0 away at Anfield. It wasn't the best performance, but we drew at Liverpool. Hardest game of the season as far as I'm concerned. But you then follow that up by losing away at Huddersfield. You then can't justify those results against Benfica and Liverpool because you're losing to Huddersfield. Got Sutasom saying this is the same thing that happens every single season. We start the season on a high. Jose knows he's starting 11. After the international break, our key men get injured. Jose forgets how to make players play football. International breaks have definitely not been good to Manchester United in the recent times, but let's not use that as an excuse, people. We still have Matic and Herrera starting in midfield. We still had Martial on the bench. We still had Rashford starting. We still had Lukaku. We still had Victor Lindelof. Well, he came on for the injured Phil Jones. Fingers crossed Jones' injury isn't bad, but it looks like what we've seen a lot happen to Phil Jones. Charlie Adams saying a 3-4-1-2 should do it in terms of the formation. Playing 3 at the back, we've hardly got 3 centre-backs at the moment, Charlie. I'm not sure how we'll do that. Got Bo Salim saying both players and the manager deserve the defeat. And Manchester United deserved to lose to Huddersfield. Absolutely. It wasn't as if they got 2 lucky goals and all of a sudden Man United was peppering their goal, hitting the post, keep making wonderful saves. We hardly had any clear-cut chances. We really, really didn't. And Huddersfield deserved the 3 points. Both of their chances were created by mistakes by Manchester United's defence, but Huddersfield punished us. And when you're clinical in the Premier League and you take your chances, ultimately you do end up winning more games than losing. And that is exactly what happened with Huddersfield at the weekend. Let's go back to the comments now. We've got Luke Hinton saying we need Eric Bailly back. We absolutely do. I miss Eric Bailly in that half of defence. When you're playing someone like Phil Jones, you need a leader alongside him. And Eric Bailly is definitely our defensive leader. And without him in the team, Man United are struggling. We've got Sad Monkey saying, I don't want Lindelof to be playing again. What are your comments on Lindelof now? Because he did make some mistakes against Huddersfield. Are we going to be jumping the gun by saying that right now Lindelof looks like a bad signing? Or do we say, look, still give Lindelof more time to adapt to the Premier League and to his life at Manchester United? He can still turn it around. Let me know what you think about that. We've got Sakadon saying Jose is breaking the team by focusing on our injuries. The team was still more than good enough to beat Huddersfield, regardless of how many injuries we had. Steve Goliath saying can't wait for Rojo to return. He's a couple of weeks off returning, but it's earlier than I think we all thought he was going to be back, and maybe with Rojo we've gone straight back into that team. Red Prepper saying, sorry to say we're not beating Man City, so don't worry about it. We are a team full of crocs. I don't think that's strictly true. You know, we have had some injuries, but we coped very well without Pogba for the first few weeks. But we certainly need his creative spark back. We've got Kevin watching from New York. How you doing, mate? And Oleg Benes saying we need a creator in our midfield, someone like Griezmann. Lots and lots of you saying that Manchester United are missing a creative spark in midfield. We absolutely are. And the sooner we get Pogba back, the better. Now, a few comments here on Lindelof. Got Matthew John Burbage and Jigar both saying give him time. Rody George is saying patience with Lindelof, he will come good. Kevin saying how can Lindelof adapt to the Premier League if he doesn't play? A very fair point, Kevin, but he came on, yes, against Huddersfield 25 minutes into the game and he certainly didn't adapt. But that's the issue when you've got players like Lindelof who are on the fringe. When they come into the team, you expect them to excel straight away, which is difficult for them to do. And if they do make a mistake, it gets exacerbated because they don't play very often, so you just concentrate on those mistakes. And unfortunately, that is exactly what's going on with Lindelof. Got Krista Jonas saying, loan Lindelof because he clearly doesn't look like a centre-back who plays for a top 4 team. Loan him. Why would you loan a 35 million signing out instead of trying to bring him into the team properly? Unfortunately for Lindelof, he looks more like a Mangala type signing. When City spent 50 million on signing him for Porto, he really did struggle. And ultimately, he didn't succeed. But fingers crossed that Lindelof can come good. Known as the Iceman when we signed him from Benfica. And I still want to see that Lindelof and Bailly partnership together. But Man United, we don't have any time to rest on our laurels. We've got Swansea away on Tuesday before Spurs at home on Saturday. 2 big games. Swansea away in the League Cup. The League Cup is what it is. Jose Mourinho won it last year. He always plays a strong team. He will play a strong team against Swansea on Tuesday. That will not change. But what we need to do is make sure that we put out a strong team and a strong performance at home against Spurs. Yes, our results away against the top 6 have been poor. But the performances against the top 6 haven't always been poor at home at Old Trafford. To say Chelsea last year, tactical genius from Jose Mourinho playing Rashford and Lingard up top in a 3-5-2, I think it was. We won that game. Can't remember what the Spurs result was last year. But Man United need to turn up against Spurs, against the Harry Kane team, Harry Kane spearheaded team who is firing right now. They spanked Liverpool and exposed the defensive weaknesses which ultimately we couldn't at Anfield. So it's going to be a tricky game. But let me know what you're thinking about this Huddersfield game. Is there too much overreaction from people? You know, it's our first loss of the season. Just ignore it. We can go on and move forward. Or is it a sign of the struggles that Jose Mourinho and this team have got? and that we're not tearing some teams apart. And ultimately, we are lacking a real creative spark with Paul Pogba being injured. That is it for today's final word on the Huddersfield game. I do apologise for all the technical issues. That's what happens when you work on YouTube. Sometimes you get a lot of technical issues, and it's Monday, so maybe the computer's at home as well. As always, please drop a like on the video if you're watching on YouTube, and subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification bell. If you're watching on the Facebook page, thank you all for your comments. As always, every morning, 10:30, I think we might push it back to instead of 10:20, just to give us a bit more time to get it set up so we don't make it late for you. But thanks for watching. The Swansea predicted 11 and starting, it's predicted 11, sorry, and prediction show will be up later today on YouTube and Facebook. Make sure you check that out. Until next time, hopefully after a win against Swansea, take it easy.